So we covered all the legendary heroes. Now let's move on to the epic ones, because obviously some of them might be good, might not. We'll see. We'll find out. Ashar is the support for the Fire Nation, and he increases attack in all battles by 24% when he tries to inflict debuffs or control effects to enemies, yet the effects are resisted or invalidated by debuff prohibition. The hero instead gains max HP healing and has 100% chance to inflict fear on the nearby enemies for 3 seconds. This can only happen once every 10 seconds. He deals 300 AoE damage to the target and nearby enemies and has a chance to apply recharge speed penalty. So if you scroll it will be 100%. And after dealing damage, if the enemy's HP is lower than 60%, additionally reduce their ultimate energy by 20%. His ultimate is an AoE that deals 600% attack and 10% max HP to enemies within range, with a 75% chance of inflicting taunt on them. When successfully inflicting taunt, there is a 100% chance of inflicting attack penalty on them. So this will not work. The attack penalty will not work on the bosses because they are immune to control effects. So this hero is mostly designed for PvP, and it says it's support, but his skill set sounds more like a tank, truth to be told. So there we go, melee, hammering with the mace. Okay, recharge speed penalty through the battle skill, and now we have ultimate. Okay, so we apply control and we got the attack penalty down. Okay, Erin is another hero with the wings that has no animations. As you can see here, we can't see anything. She's the burn hero. When she deals damage to enemies under burn, she removes 3 stacks of burn from them and deals extra damage. And this skill only takes effect to the same enemy every 3 seconds. This is not good. Because you have Ascetius, you have Arrakis who need as much burn as possible. She shoots 4 bullets that can bounce up to 4 times between enemies, dealing damage. With 75% to inflicting 2 stacks of burn, enemies under burn will be bounced and attacked first. Her ultimate is the one that I don't like because it shoots in a straight line, so it's very easy to avoid or very hard to play around sometimes on specific bosses. She shoots 3 waves of bullets, each dealing damage to enemy within range. When enemies hit are under burn, she deals an extra damage. Okay, so I'm not sure if she will be able to outdamage Arrakis. Definitely not, what's his name? Ascetius. But yeah, okay, so that's how she looks. Obviously no animation for the hero, sadly, and that's with all the flying heroes. Then we got the new Ice Blast hero, Naja. So she's got a localization issue on her damage aura. So it should be 25% crit damage, similar to how Ascetius has the same aura. Look at the name, and it does 24% in all battles. So I'm expecting this to be the same. This is just a localization issue. But finally, a useful aura for the Ice Blast team, and obviously the same description as most Ice Blast teams. She will cast an extra battle skill when she's got the Ice Crystal, but when she possesses 3 and above, this skill will have an additional effect, okay? And that's quite interesting, because she will deal with her battle skill 250 attack damage to enemy. Every stack of Ice Crystal on the hero increases the damage dealt by 10%. Okay, so you can go up to 50% basically. An additional effect, when she has 3 or more, she will deal 4% target max HP, but capped at 200% attack. So that will not be a huge improvement, but it's always something. Now, her ultimate will make her throw an Ice Lance at the enemy to deal 600 cold damage, and this is AoE, because it will hit the nearby enemies as well. Upon hitting each enemy, the hero has a 30% chance to obtain 1 stack of Ice Crystal. An additional effect, if she's got more than 3 Ice Crystals, she will gain a 15% attack up. And we can see her in action. Obviously, we need Sheena to use these extra crystals. But Ice Blast heroes are very simple. Okay, so the Necrosis hero, Salmon Mera. Okay, so she grants attack in all battles, which is good. She summons a Phantom Eater to assist in the battle as the battle starts. The hero takes on 25% damage for the Phantom Eater, and when the hero gains a buff, the Phantom Eater also gains the same buff. So a little bit different than Joyce. Joyce when her minions, where her clones, summons, get buff, she gets it. It's the other way around here. So when she gains a buff, the Phantom Eater also gets it. She commands the Phantom Eater to attack the enemy with the highest attack, dealing damage to them and nearby enemies. Afterwards, the Phantom Eater will choose this enemy as the target to attack, and if the Phantom Eater is dead, it deals 360 attack to enemy with the highest attack. She grants 20% attack up to herself, deals 350% damage to the enemy with the highest attack again, and the damage ignores 30% of their defense. The hero commands the Phantom Eater to deal an additional 350 damage to the current enemy and ignores 30% defense. Now, this is quite cool, and this is what all the summon heroes should have. If the Phantom Eater is dead, it summons another Phantom Eater at the enemy location, and the hero gains 30% ultimate energy. So you actually want the Phantom Eater to die once it's gone. Maybe we'll need to see the total damage output, because you'll also get 30% ultimate energy. So let's see how her skills look in action, and let's see this Phantom Eater. So as you can see, it's spawned there. It is targetable because it has HP, and obviously it has to die. So yeah, there we go. That was the battle skill. Now we're gonna do the ultimate. It goes on this target, and the Phantom Eater follows with his attack as well. Okay, next on the list, Radiant Support Tarula. When successfully dispelling any debuff, heals the ally with the currently lowest percentage of HP by 10% target max HP and Enlightenment scaling. She deals damage around her and has a 100% chance to dispel one buff from them. Okay, and she dispels all debuffs from the ally with the highest attack and grants them debuff immunity and control immunity. Okay, I want to see how it looks in the action. Okay, so let's see this, because we have multiple heroes now. I want to see if all of them get debuff immunity, because this description is not ideal. Not just the single one. Okay, so that's how it works. So now the Dauntless hero Valorian, one that is quite interesting. Okay, 30% attack in City of the Trial Battles. His passive basically makes his basic attack have a 20% chance to trigger a double hit, and every extra 1% attack speed will increase the trigger chance by 0.2%, and the total trigger chance is capped at 50%, so you can't go over the 50%. Now, his battle skill strikes an enemy twice, dealing lightning damage, and this skill is regarded as a basic attack, and meanwhile also grants him attack speed 25%, not only him, but to all Dauntless heroes for 5 seconds, every 10 seconds. This is a huge buff to your team, to your Dauntless team. I mean, that is quite powerful there. And he strikes an enemy 4 times, so we can apply Witch's Remain with him as well if we really want to. And this skill is regarded as a basic attack, and the subsequent 5 times of basic attacks are guaranteed to trigger double hits as well. So he will dish out a lot of auto attacks, and might be a good addition for those of you who don't have heroes like Farival or any other legendary heroes, as he is a Dauntless, and we can already build a really powerful cheap Dauntless teams with Shelter, Shaggerl, Nimbus, Vani, etc. And now we have another additional hero here that will do a lot of damage. So the Poison Support Pearl, when ally takes an AoE damage, dispels 1 debuff from all allies. This skill only takes effect every once for 5 seconds. So this is a really good, I would say, really good hero for the endgame boss, like in Season 3 endgame boss, because this happens every 5 seconds. Deals 400 attack, that's huge, by the way, single target and multiplier here, with a 75% chance to inflict silence on them. Okay, I'm not sure how powerful this can be, really. And deals another big multiplier here, an AoE damage to enemies within range with a 100% chance to dispel 1 buff from them. And the hero also has a 100% chance to inflict Healing Prohibition and Buff Prohibition. Okay, Buff Prohibition is quite hard to get in a poison team, so there we go. Healing Prohibition quite a lot, but Buff Prohibition is quite good. So yeah, this will come in handy in multiple contents like Feymander, etc. So yeah, definitely. And I mean, that AoE Dispel is quite cool as well. I mean, if we had it at the endgame boss, she will probably be in the meta there. So there we go. That's how she looks. And obviously a poisonous mermaid. So be careful around her. And let's move to the next epic hero on the list. And that's the last epic hero on the list. And we'll move to the rare heroes as well. So it's Dino, based on Enlightenment. With Enlightenment, or his basic attacks have a 60% chance to inflict poison. So that's quite cool on a single target bosses that will constantly apply poison with basic attacks. He shoots three arrows at the current enemy, dealing damage to them and having 75%, which transfers to 100% poison stacks. So 3 poison stacks every 10 seconds. And he shoots a 1 arrow at the current enemy and deals 500 poison damage to them. And for every stack of poison on the enemy, the hero deals additional 20% derivative poison damage to them. After that, grants the hero attack speed 2 for 10 seconds. That sounds very powerful. This sounds really powerful, and there is one hero that works similarly. Okay, there is one. So this might be an option, valid option and replacement for that hero. So yeah, and remember, there will be changes to the vortex, and I went over them a little bit, and the poison can stack to 60 times on that specific poison buff. So let's go over the rare heroes now. There's only 5, and the first one is Alistair. His passive reads as when inflicting debuff or control to enemies, the hero reduces their ultimate by 15%. Okay, interesting. When their ultimate energy is reduced to 0 by this effect, the hero obtains an extra 20% ultimate. He strikes an enemy twice, each dealing 220% fire attack damage, and the second attack has a 100% chance, if you scroll him, to inflict stun. It's a single target, so maybe useful in certain dungeons, but definitely no end game. Deals 720% attack fire damage to enemies within range with a 100% chance of inflicting recharge penalty when you scroll him. So nothing flashy. Obviously, these are rare heroes. They're always really simple, but some of them are still very, very powerful. So, while this won't show you how much damage he can do, the 720 multiplier might come in handy, and recharge speed penalty is still very useful early in the game where we don't have access to the haste sets to go over and clear the higher level dungeons. The next hero, Roberta, she's an Ice Blast hero, and she casts the battle skill twice, or how many more times depending on the ice crystals. She shoots 2 projectiles dealing 150 damage each. This skill ignores 40% of the defense, and if the skill consumes ice crystal, the projectile will be enhanced, each dealing 180%, so 30% damage increase if she casts it again. And she strikes an AoE time. Okay, the enemies with range 3 times, so we can put Witch's Remain or Crown on her, dealing 250% cold damage, and with a 75% chance to grant 1 stack of the ice crystals to hero, which means herself. So nothing spectacular. Obviously, we can't really tell how much damage she'll be able to do, or if she will be able to outdamage Nord, because we know Nord can actually do a lot of damage. But this is Sheena, small Sheena, when it comes to the ultimate, and not applying these ice crystals to teammates, which is a shame. We definitely want some alternative to Sheena rather than any other damage dealers. And we got the Ylindra support, Necrosis support. She takes the 25% less damage on the passive. That's quite cool. She strikes the enemy twice, dealing 200 each, and heals herself by 350% of the attack. She moves to the enemy and strikes them 3 times, each dealing 250%, dispel 2 buffs from the enemy with a 100% chance to inflict buff prohibition, and this skill prioritizes enemy with the most buffs. So this hero will be very useful in Grave of Venom and other content where we need to dispel and we need to put buff prohibition. Also, look at this heal in here, 4000, just that's without any equipment. So yeah, she can definitely take the beating as well, might become a tank eventually in some dungeons. Now let's go over the next few left. So the next one is Haldi is a Thunderbolt hero, so when he is on the battlefield, grants accuracy up to all Thunderbolt heroes. So we got this 50% extra accuracy for free, which helps us with applying Electrocuted to the enemies. Deals damage to the enemy twice, dealing 200% with a 50% chance of inflicting Electrocuted. That goes to 75 with scrolls, and he grants enlightenment up to all Thunderbolt allies for 10 seconds, and then deal 500 attack and 3000 enlightenment. That is a lot, scaling on both of them to nearby enemies with 75% chance of inflicting an electrocuted that goes to 100%. So he is not a bad option when it comes to applying Thunderbolt, really. And it looks like his multipliers might make him a good damage source. But obviously that will come later when we will test different setups against different content. And the last hero, the last new hero really, and the last rare as well, is Brona, the only rat that get into Season 4. Because everyone had enough of the rats. So when dealing damage to enemies, the hero has a 50% chance to inflict 1 stack of poison to them, on them for 15 seconds, dealing damage, auto attacks, skills, etc. Strikes an enemy twice, so we can have 2 poison stacks here, dealing 120% poison attack, and the hero gains attack speed 2. So every auto attack will help applying this poison. The chance of inflicting poison through Pilferage, which is the passive, is increased to 100% for 10 seconds. Then strikes the enemy 5 times, so that's 5 stacks on a single target. So it's a really good, cheap option of applying poison, which we, I think, have plenty of already. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please click the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. As always, thank you for watching. Stay safe. Bye.